He's very confident talking to her. He's practiced this before, so he has an eye for girls like Claire. Even Claire notices that
do you always practice your English chatting out foreigners?
there's no doubt, Claire, and you know it. He's practiced this before, a lot. Had it been his first time, he wouldn't be so sure of himself. Later in the film, we will see that he doesn't miss a chance to chat up a young, beautiful tourist when he sees one. He even uses the same pickup lines. Here, he is about to talk to a French girl who dropped her scarf because she was watching the fireworks. How absent-minded of her. Just right for him. Look at her face. So dreamy, so innocent. How gullible she must be if she's so excited by the fireworks. Maybe at this moment, since it's the New Year's and midnight, she was making a wish to meet a young handsome stranger. And boom! A second later, Andy shows up.
Oh, thank you.
No problem. On New Year's Eve, isn't it important to compensate your life?
He's making mistakes here on purpose. Remember that he's a teacher of English. Yes, in a sports school, but nonetheless, he speaks English fluently, so it seems very unlikely he would make stupid mistakes like this. He just knows that making mistakes would make girls laugh and make him look cute. And he hopes that she would correct him, which means that he will get a reaction from her. And remember, we've said before, any reaction is good enough for him. Any kind of hook is good enough. Maybe he usually has to go through a lot of these so-called interviews before he finds the right candidate for his plan.
Wait, I think you mean contemplate? Ah, le taxi est là.
Andy's dad also notices that his son's girlfriends always happen to be tourists.
Warum suchst du dir eigentlich immer Touristinnen aus?
It's the instinct of self-preservation in Andy. Since he's convinced that all ladies leave, he picks those girls who will definitely leave since they are tourists. He picks them to prove his beliefs to himself. Later in the film, we will find out that before Claire, he had at least one girl captivated in his apartment.
Oh my God. Do you always practice your English chatting out foreigners?
What? No, 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 no.
She talks about her photographs, that she's planning to publish a book of photos. She's artistic and ambitious, which is great. And if she shared her ambitious plans with a good-intentioned guy, it would have been great. But to Andy, artistic and ambitious translates as, I have nothing holding me back. I have no particular destination, nowhere I have to be, no one waiting on me. All these pieces of information make her more and more perfect for his plan. Oftentimes, it's a good idea not to share your creative plans with people you don't know very well. And not just because these people might potentially be perverts like Andy here. Sharing your dreams and future projects is something sacred and personal. If you don't fully trust the person you're talking to, if you are not 100% sure that this person will support you, then don't give them this gift of yours. Don't give them the privilege of being the one you share your dreams and plans with.
I really like the GDR architecture. I want to do a book.
We say DDR, Deutsche Demokratische.
Yeah. No.
Had Claire met a guy without psychological problems, he would have given her at least some words of support, like, great plan, or good luck with that. But instead, he ignored that bit about the book and focused on correcting her use of the abbreviation. Andy, we will see later in the film, has developed a real talent for noticing mistakes people make, for seeing bad intentions in people's minds. He's so scared of human connection that he creates boundaries that separate him from the world and paints all people in a bad light, judges them, and somehow turns his every flaw into other people's flaws, shifts the blame from himself to others. Let's study some scenes from the future. Andy gives Franca, his teenage student, his longing looks. He cannot stop staring at her to the point that she can feel his gaze on her. Normally, being attracted to a student is off limits to a teacher, but in Andy's mind, Franca is no different than girls like Claire and Natalie. To him, they are the same. They are all gullible and inexperienced. It's the same kind of attraction for him. He's only attracted to girls who can be easily manipulated because of lack of experience. Mature women repel him. He doesn't even see them romantically. Franca is probably in love with her young, handsome teacher, and we can't blame her. It's natural in her age and in these circumstances. She decides to make a move and visits Andy at his house. Franca is not scared because she trusts Andy. She probably thinks that he can't harm her because he's a teacher, an intelligent and respected young man. What can possibly go wrong with him? She's probably thinking. She comes to ask Andy why was he staring at her that way. What does it mean? But he shifts the blame onto her, saying that he couldn't help looking because she made him do it by being provocative. Remember that they study at a sports school and all the girls were wearing the same outfits and all of them were practicing, so he doesn't make any sense. But it's a teenage girl who fancies him, so he doesn't even have to try that hard to gaslight her. So she walks away, upset, hurt. She now believes that she did something wrong. She will doubt herself and her instincts from now on. And good for her, because she really needs to be more cautious. Studying this scene, we can see how Andy interprets everything in his favor. He cannot bear the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. Another scene that I want to study is also from the future. He hates his coworker to the point that he even washes his hand after she briefly touched him. She's smiling to make light of the situation where she accidentally took his mug, and he's interpreting it in his head as her being flirtatious. Let's study one more scene. Andy's very uncomfortable around people. He cannot control anything here. Unlike in his own apartment, where he tied his victim to the bed. Maybe he became a teacher to satisfy his need to control everything. Maybe for a while it helped him stay sane, but then it stopped being enough, and he started needing more and more control, and that's when he started to look for victims. Looking at his face, we can tell that it's not his scene at all. He wants to run away.
Andi, lass mal. Du musst doch jetzt nicht spülen, das machen wir später. Komm mit, es ist 12.
Dass dich den Männern so an den Hals wirfst.
When this woman is being nice and treats him like a guest, he gets angry with her and hints that she behaves in an inappropriate way, while she didn't do anything wrong. He hates every woman who can stand up for herself. He hates confidence in women, their free will. He sees his mother, who left him and his dad, in every woman. And it seems like he's taking revenge on his mother by hurting women. His deep-rooted offense at his mother has made him this way.
Warum bist du so?
Why are you this way? She asks him.
Warum bist du so?
But he just mimics her, makes fun of her, like a child would do. Look at his face. He's clearly seen his mother in this woman's face. Let's go back to the present moment where Claire and Andy talk.
I really like the GDR architecture. I want to do a book.
We say DDR, Deutsche Demokratische
Yeah.
Republik.
Of course, Andy doesn't want to talk about Claire's book because he doesn't see her as a person, but more of a continuation of himself. his doll that will never leave because all people leave, as he believes. All because his mother left and he never recovered from it.
Sie hat uns verlassen. Einfach rübergemacht. Ich will sie nicht sehen.
To that, his dad says nothing and changes the subject. He also never recovered from that incident and never found another woman to be happy with. A very bad example for Andy. His father is an unhappy and weak man. In all of his scenes, he's complaining about life. Growing up, Andy was probably looking at him and thinking, no, I'm not going to be like him. I'm going to make it work for me. I'm going to live my own way. And this is how he decided to create relationships where women could never leave.
Yeah.
At this point, they both have exchanged enough phrases for Claire to expect some kind of continuation of this meeting. He has also talked about his job and his dad, and he looked really interested in what she has to say. But then, all of a sudden, nothing on his part. Although it would be more natural if he continued to take the initiative, since he was the one who showed interest in her in the first place and started talking. There's an awkward pause, and he does nothing, although it's like everything was leading up to him asking for her number or something like that. Look at her face. It's like she's saying, so what are you waiting for? Don't be shy. But he's not shy at all, Claire. She can't stand this tension and breaks into laughter. Any guy in a similar situation who really liked a girl he met on the street would do that, but we know, of course, he's abnormal.
Can't he just be normal?
You're abnormal.
But he does nothing, intentionally. He wants to make her think it's meaningless to him, to make her think she's not good enough. Because if she's the right girl for his plan, this behavior will only make her want him even more. When he doesn't want to take her number, she starts thinking not about what is wrong with him and why is he giving me these mixed signals, but she starts thinking, what's wrong with me if he doesn't like me? It's a very damaging pattern of thoughts in a person's mind, and it leads to so many bad decisions.
Yeah. And it was nice to meet you.
Strawberry on my hand.
Andy.
Claire. Nice to meet you.
At this point, he became so valuable to her because he didn't ask her number that she decided to take the initiative and continue their conversation. This was going so well. I just can't let this opportunity for an adventure slip away from my hands. I gotta find a way to continue this. This is what must be going through her mind at this moment.
What did you... They said this is from a cerebra?
I don't know the English word for it. Those small men from Snow White.
Oh, how cute Claire must be thinking in this moment.